The Snatchwood Cabin. Last name, first name, class period. Select which period you are in, 1, 2, or 3. Start time, number 1. Why are paragraphs 13 and 14 important to the story? A, they explain who Tagar is. B, they show that Twig is unhappy in his home. C, they contrast Twig and Tagar. D, they show that Twig is loved by everyone in Snatchwood. Number 2, which of these best shows the tension between Twig and his father? A, although he was a master carver, Tantrum Snatchwood earned most of his money from the illicit repair of the Sky Pirate ships. B, Twig knew there would be snow before his father returned that night. C, he thought of Tum out there in the deep woods far beyond the anchor tree. D, he wanted his father to wrap him up in his arms and soothe the pain away. Instead, Tuntu would give him advice and make demands. Number 3, the reader can tell from the beginning of the story that A, Twig does not like his name. B, Twig has heard the story of how he got his name many times. C, Twig loves the smells in Snatchwood. D, Twig bullies the wood trolls in Snatchwood. Number 4, Twig's feelings that he doesn't belong becomes more obvious when he A, thinks about his father chopping trees. B, listens to his mother tell the story. End of the story. C, remembers Tagar's comment. D, sits in front of a warm stove. Number 5. Paragraphs 7 and 8 contribute to the plot by A, introducing Twig's mother, Spelda. B, describing the setting. C, illustrating Twig's happiness in his environment. D, showing the ways in which Twig looks different. 6. What can the reader conclude about Spelda in paragraph 19? A, she is nurturing toward Twig. B, she's a trained nurse. C, she wishes Twig were not so different. D, she thinks Twig is too rough. 7. What is the best summary of this excerpt? A, Twig lives with his wood troll family in the deep woods. Twig's mother, Spelda, tells Twig the story of how he got his name. She's proud of Twig, even though he's different. He walked upright early for his age, but began talking later than that other wood trolls. B, Twig looks different from his family and has a unique sense of smell. Tagar tells Twig that his nose will tell him where he belongs. Twig's mother tells Twig the story of how he got his name in order to make him feel better about his differences, but he's focused on his father coming home. C, Twig is very different from the other wood trolls in the deep woods. The others tease, taunt, and bully Twig, and he thinks about leaving because he feels like he doesn't belong. People should always find where they belong. D, Twig lived with wood trolls in the deep woods, but he's very different from them. As his mother, Spelda, begins to tell him the story of how he got his name, he reflects on his desire to fit in. Twig is unsure whether he belongs in the deep woods, and he is insecure about his father, Tum feels about him. Stop time.